This idea of leveling up, like we talk about this a lot. We talk about doing the work. I think that a common question that Rich and I will get where it's like, well, how do I actually do it? How do you keep telling me level up, like make more money, learn game, manage the frame, get in better shape? And for one, we've created a community of guys over, at this point, we've got probably close to 500 members across all four tiers of guys that are doing all of those things. And we created the School of Unplugging, which is a step by step, you know, blueprint of how to get started and what to do. But that's not a cure all, because what we've done is provided the information. What we do on these shows and on these videos is provide the information, but it's ultimately up to the people that are receiving it. And it's ultimately up to the guys that are doing it to actually go and apply that material to the real world and use that to get better. Leveling up is a very simple process. I wouldn't necessarily say it's easy, but it's very simple. And I'll use myself kind of as an example. You know, if you guys don't know by now, my backstory, I joined the 1% community about 4 years ago at this point. February of 2021, you guys, I called into one of Rich's shows and we had a conversation. He's like, "Hey man, join the community." And I joined it that night. And then I kind of did a little bit of a personal assessment of myself, and I took stock of what I was doing. I was like, I wasn't making six figures quite yet. I was doing okay. I was in decent shape. Um, I was looking to get back out there after I had the breakup with like the LTR that kind of unplugged me, or that led to my unplugging. And like it was really simple. I I picked one thing that I wanted to get good at everything. Like I was like most guys out there. I was like most guys that even come and join our community. It's like, well, I want to make more money. I want to get better with women. I want to get in better shape. I want to have better long-term relationships if that's what I want. I want to have better relationships with my kids and being able to lead them better if that's what I want to, if I have kids and things like that. But a lot of guys like don't know where to start. They have all of these things and they have all of these very lofty goals. And a common mistake that guys will make, and this isn't even just guys in the community, this is guys that watch the channel, this is also guys in the community, because we're talking about hundreds of dudes. And there's been guys that have come and gone. And the guys that don't stick around and the guys that don't level up and we don't see improvement, it's really simple. It's the guys that aren't doing anything with the information. You know, what I did was, okay, man, I need to get back out there and I want to date better and I want to figure out how I'm screwing up all of my long-term relationships, and I want to figure out where I'm going wrong. And I've had bad relationships. I want to have good relationships with women. I want to be able to be the leader. I want to be able to say the right things. I want to be able to maintain and hold frame with women. And so they, fall into what I'm doing instead of me putting them on pedestals and all of the common sort of plugged in blue pill attitudes and mistakes that guys make, myself included. And all I really did was just go out there and start putting up shots. Like, this is the most simple thing that I tell guys. Like, guys will come into the community and be like, well, I don't know where to start. I'm like, just pick something. I'm like, okay, what do you want? Like, I want to get in better shape. I want to make more money. I'm like, all right, pick one thing. Let's just say getting, better at dating or having more attractive women coming into your orbit. You need to go out and put up shots. You need to go out and get your ass kicked. You need to go out and put in a lot of reps. Like, we say this and guys think it's like, oh, I just need to go out and do this. But it's like, it's not just going out there and going out on dates and going through the motions. It's the same reason why you see the same guys in the gym day in, day out, for weeks or months on end, and they never look any different. They never look in any better shape. They never look bigger. They never look leaner, because a lot of guys think doing the work is just showing up. Now, don't get me wrong. Showing up is a big part of it. It is already hard enough to get guys to generally show up in the first place. But showing up only takes you so far. It's like, what are you going to do when you show up? Like, okay, cool, I showed up to the gym, but are you working hard? Are you training? Are you pushing yourself? Are you trying to gain an extra rep? Are you trying to put on an extra 5 pounds or 10 pounds to the bar every single time? And when you're really trying to grow and get better at something, nothing will ever be comfortable. You don't just, get strong one day and everything in the gym automatically just feels light. Maybe you're going there and your max bench press is one plate. It's 135 pounds. Or what is that? Like 50, how many kilos is that for you Canadians out there? I don't know. A plate, right? 60 kilos. I used to be a power lifter. I should know all this stuff. So like 60 kilo bench press. Cool. Like bars 20, each plate is 20. Maybe that's your max effort, right? But if you continue to push, if you continue to add, 2.5 kilos to the bar, 5 pounds to the bar every week, week in and week out. Now that maybe goes up to 185, maybe 225, 275, 315. And eventually you are way stronger than you were before, but all you've done is establish a new baseline. Like it doesn't ever get any easier. And part of what doing the work is, it's like the work never gets easier. You just get better. You just get stronger. And so now there does come a point where you'll establish sort of like a maintenance, especially if you're a natural athlete. Then, and this can be applied to everything, guys. This can be applied to being a business owner. This can be applied to, dating and with women. You may get to a point where you are cool with maintenance. If you're a natural athlete, like a lot of people don't know this, you should know this, but there's scientifically and physiologically only a certain amount of muscle mass that you can put onto your frame. Generally, for most people, for most naturals, it's like 25 pounds of muscle. Like there might be some deviations, maybe a little less, maybe a little more, but generally like 25 to 30 pounds is the max amount of muscle that somebody can kind of put on their frame naturally. And the way to figure that out is different measurements like your wrist and things like that. And just your skeletal structure, your height comes into play, just the size of your frame. The taller and lengthier you are, the more room you have to put on size, the longer it will take, but you'll be able to put on more muscle. If you're kind of smaller and you've got shorter limbs, then you might max out faster, but it's ultimately going to be less muscle over time. Neither here nor there. But the point being is that what most guys should really just focus on is just establishing a new baseline. It's just focusing on the incremental progress, right? So we talk about it in terms of, when I'm fighting and I'm working on my conditioning, we call it pushing the wall back. And people think you go out there and you push hard and you want to work up a sweat and you breathe heavy, like, all right, cool, that was a good workout. But everybody has this sort of threshold, this invisible threshold, this wall where it's like, your brain is telling you, stop. This is too painful. This is too risky. This is too much of an issue. We are going, like, you're putting our body into danger. We are basically in fight or flight mode and we're trying to be in flight. Your brain is telling you stop. And the difference, the real big difference between guys that get it done and guys that don't are the ones that are ability to push. It's not even like blowing through the wall. You don't necessarily have to just blast through that wall. It's just, if here's the wall, if it's here, I'm trying to line up with the camera, just push it back a little further, right? If your baseline is here, if your baseline cardio is here, and in a session, you can push it back just a little bit. And then the next session, you can push it back a little bit more and push it back a little bit more, a little more, a little more, a little more. And all of a sudden, after a couple of weeks or a couple of months, your baseline goes from here to here to here. Like it's even off camera.
All right, guys, I really hope that you enjoyed that clip. If you want to check out the full-length podcast episode, you can find that right over here. Also, make sure you visit my website over here where you'll find my supplements, the opportunity to book me privately one-on-one for coaching, and most importantly, my new School of Unplugging, which you'll find on the courses tab. Newer to the channel, hit subscribe.